Hey, this is Brett. I started YouTube after turning 40. And if you're worried it might be too late to get started, you're not alone because I had the exact same fear. There's a stereotype. You've got to be young, good looking, practice self-care, probably drink green smoothies, I don't know. But after getting serious about YouTube more than a year ago, I found out there are lots of successful creators way beyond the age of 40 who don't fit this mold. One of my favorites is Sarasota Tim.
Hey, good morning everybody, Sarasota Tim.
Tim is in his 60s and posts videos on collecting Social Security, working in retirement, and traveling in an RV. This video about collecting Social Security at 62 has more than 2 million views. According to Social Blade, Tim makes more than $40,000 per year from ads. And of course, Tim earns through affiliate links and audience tips too. Either way you look at it, YouTube doesn't seem like a bad way to supplement your income during retirement. But Tim is only one example. Steve Chu from My Wife Quit Her Job is in his 40s. Steve makes more than $20,000 a month talking about e-commerce and other business topics on YouTube. And Mark Tilbury, who could be in his 50s, but has broad appeal across younger demos like Gen Z. From a financial perspective, Mark is the most successful YouTuber I've mentioned by far. His channel makes more than $1 million per year in ad revenue, according to Social Blade. Do you think this guy worries about being over 40 and on YouTube? I think not. So the good news is, you're not too old. The bad news, as an adult, you're not just gonna be able to drop everything to chase your dreams of becoming a full-time YouTuber. So let's talk about how much money you can realistically expect to make, finding the time for YouTube when you've got kids and a job, and what to do if coworkers, friends, or family members find out about your little side venture. Everyone's YouTube journey is going to be different, of course. You could go viral and reach 1 million views with your first video and become wealthy next month. And if that happens, great. But that's not how it's worked out for me, at least not so far. Here's a look at my YouTube revenue from the entire year of 2023. I brought in a grand total of $474.58. To put this number in perspective, Mark, who I mentioned earlier, makes more money on his YouTube channel in 1 hour than I made the entire year. Womp, womp, womp. You can see on most days I made $1 to $3 in revenue. My top earning day came on March 5th when I earned a whopping $12.17. Woohoo! I officially joined the YouTube Partner Program in February 2023, so before that I was pretty much just making videos for free. To start earning money from YouTube, you need to meet certain requirements and apply for the YouTube Partner Program. The basic requirements for approval are at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours over a 12-month period. This sounds like a lot of watch hours, and it is, but trust me, I think anyone can pull this off if you're consistent. My biggest tip to getting monetized with YouTube is basically to just start publishing videos as soon as you can, because even if they're only getting a few dozen videos a week, the watch time from those videos, it's gonna add up. But here's my warning. You'll notice revenue didn't budge for an entire year despite publishing 28 videos over this time. And this is one of the things I want to be upfront with you about before you go jumping on the YouTube bandwagon. You've got to get comfortable not seeing results for a few weeks or even a few months' time. What gives me hope is I know there are a lot of other creators that have gone through this similar type of journey before realizing success down the road. But you need to be able to keep the faith, keep improving your videos, and I'm believing that eventually you're going to be able to pick up some traction, which I'm going to be the first to admit is easier said than done sometimes. Now let's get real. You're over 40, you got life stuff going on that's going to compete with your YouTube time. If you've got kids, your YouTube time could easily get disrupted by a meltdown, potty accident, or a bad dream at a moment's notice. Life happens, and I've learned that sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches and be okay with simply being unproductive for a day. So how have I been able to make time for YouTube with 2 kids, full-time job, and the occasional curveball thrown my way? Here's what's worked for me. My alarm clock is set at 5:10 a.m. The alarm goes off, I get up, turn on the coffee maker, and head upstairs to my computer where I do focused work for the next 2 to 3 hours. What's crazy is by 8 a.m., I feel like I've been more productive than most people in an 8-hour workday easy. For me, morning is the only time I can get uninterrupted work done. When I start, my kids are still asleep. My wife is either still asleep or working out. No one is calling, no one is texting me. I don't miss out on anything in these early morning hours. I think you could try blocking time at night too, if that's easier for you. I'm just too tired at the end of the day to do anything but sleep, so that just doesn't work for me. But here's another thing that's helped. I'm in a community that is all about putting in 2 focused hours of work per day toward a project. I've included a link to the group below, but basically I enter my deep work hours each day into a Slack channel. A lot of people take pictures from the places they're working from, like coffee shops, share progress on their goals, and basically we just cheer each other on. This sort of accountability helps me stay pumped up and motivated to keep going. And the results people get doing this are pretty insane. One guy's on track to make his first 5K a month in his business, and another gal started making 10K a month after she started doing this. Recording videos for YouTube takes time, so make sure you're blocking enough time to make progress. It sounds harsh, but if you can't block a couple hours a day, I don't know how you'll be able to grow a channel. Imagine this nightmare scenario. What if your neighbor, coworker, or family member finds out you started a YouTube channel? After all, you're probably a well-respected member of your local PTA or even a manager where you work who should have everything figured out in their life. What would they think of you if you started a YouTube channel? I'm happy to report that this is mostly an imaginary concern if you have it. After more than a decade of running 2 food truck blogs that got more than 1 million monthly page views and had my face on literally every single page, I've only been approached by coworkers twice. And here's what went down. The first time someone at work asked me about my blog, I felt this like jolt of nervousness. They were employed as a staff writer, so immediately I thought maybe I had a poorly written post, or maybe they thought my writing was bad or something like that. But that's not what happened at all. My coworkers said they looked at my name and realized I had a blog about food trucks. They basically said, "That's really cool." And we had a 3-minute talk about why I started a food truck blog. That was it. The second time this happened, it was a project manager who approached me about blogging, and then they basically just quickly asked me for advice about how to start an online course that they were thinking about making. Those are literally the only 2 times people at work have ever asked me about my website in over 10 years. Beyond those 2 examples, I couldn't tell you a time a friend, family member, or anyone else has ever asked me about blogging. How come? Probably because they're busy thinking about their own jobs, their own families, hobbies, and the things that they want to do. The reality is no one is going to notice you started a YouTube channel. And if they do, it's actually probably a good thing because it means your channel is blowing up. Before I sign off, let me say, if you're over 40 right now and you're thinking about launching a YouTube channel, I think that's really cool. It won't be easy, but I think it's cool. I'm sure you know people your age who have sort of given up on big dreams and are basically coasting. They've got an okay job and the game plan is to grind it out for another 2 or 3 decades into retirement. Me, I'm not getting any younger, so I'd rather start something with massive upside right now. And let's face it, if I'm not gonna do it right now, when is the right time gonna be to do it? In my 50s, in my 60s? Come on now. Let me know if you think starting a YouTube channel after 40 is a waste of time. And if you have any questions, let me know about them in the comments below. I'm a small channel, so I can respond to any and all legit questions you might have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.